Hi, in this video we will discuss the hidden cost of importing JDM cars. What you don't know will hurt you. Let's face it, importing a used Japanese domestic market, JDM, car can be a thrilling experience. But, did you know that it can also cost you an additional $5,000 to $10,000 or more on top of the car's purchase price? That's right, the average additional cost of importing a JDM car can be staggering. And, it's not just about the initial price, it's the cumulative effect of various fees and taxes that can make your wallet cry. I should know. I recently imported a 2015 Nissan GT-R from Japan, and the total cost, including additional fees, came out to be $62,000 to $12,000 more than the car's purchase price. That's a whopping 20% increase in cost. But, what's even more surprising is that this is not an isolated incident. Many JDM car enthusiasts and importers have reported similar experiences. So, what's behind this astronomical additional cost? Well, it all starts with the process of importing a JDM car. To bring a car from Japan, you need to comply with U.S. Customs and Border Protection regulations. This involves obtaining an importer number, paying a customs broker fee, and submitting the necessary paperwork. Sounds straightforward, right? Wrong. The fees and taxes associated with importing a JDM car can be mind-boggling. There's the 2.5% duty on the value of the vehicle, 25% excise tax on the value of the vehicle, and a $500 customs clearance fee. Not to mention the cost of shipping, insurance, and freight. And, if you're importing a car with a high value, like a luxury or exotic vehicle, the costs can escalate even further. But, here's the thing, most people don't realize that these fees and taxes can add up quickly, making the total cost of importing a JDM car much higher than expected. It's like buying a car that's already been used by someone else. You're not just paying for the car itself, you're also paying for the privilege of importing it. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't importing a JDM car worth the extra cost? Well, that's a question that requires careful consideration. While importing a JDM car can be an exciting experience, it's essential to weigh the pros and cons. On the one hand, JDM cars are known for their unique designs, performance, and reliability. They are often less expensive than their European or American counterparts, and they can be a great way to stand out from the crowd. On the other hand, importing a JDM car can be a costly and time-consuming process. You'll need to navigate complex regulations, deal with language barriers, and contend with potential delays. So, is importing a JDM car really worth the extra cost? The answer depends on your priorities and budget. If you're a die-hard JDM car enthusiast who's willing to go the extra mile for a unique driving experience, then importing a JDM car might be the right choice for you. However, if you're on a tight budget or looking for a hassle-free car buying experience, you might want to consider alternative options. For example, you could consider buying a used JDM car from a reputable dealer or online marketplace. This can save you money on importation costs, and you'll still get to enjoy the thrill of driving a unique and exotic vehicle. Alternatively, you could consider buying a new car from a US dealership, which can be a more convenient and cost-effective option. In conclusion, importing a JDM car can be a costly and complex process. While it may be worth the extra cost for some enthusiasts, it's essential to carefully weigh the pros and cons before making a decision. With the right knowledge and planning, you can avoid the hidden fees and taxes that can make your wallet cry. So, if you're considering importing a JDM car, do your research, budget accordingly, and don't let the high costs catch you off guard. Now in this section we will understand the additional fees and taxes. A breakdown of the costs. When I started importing used JDM cars, I thought I had a handle on all the costs involved. But, boy, was I wrong. It wasn't until I received my first invoice that I realized just how much additional fees and taxes could add to the total cost. Let's start with import duties and taxes. These can be a real killer, especially if you're not aware of what you're getting into. For example, when importing a JDM car, you may have to pay a 2.4% import duty on the car's value, plus a 10% sales tax. That's a whopping 12.4% of the car's price, just for the privilege of bringing it into the country. But that's not all. customs and documentation fees can also be a significant expense. Most people don't realize that these fees can range from $500 to $2,000 or more, depending on the complexity of the import process. And let me tell you, it can get complicated fast, especially if you're dealing with a car that's 20 years old. One thing that really caught me off guard was the number of forms and documents required for importation. I had to provide everything from the car's original title to a detailed description of its condition. And don't even get me started on the customs brokerage fees, these can add up quickly, especially if you're dealing with a complex shipment. Other additional costs to consider include shipping and insurance fees. Now, I know what you're thinking, shipping fees are just a normal part of importing a car, right? Wrong. Shipping fees can range from a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the type of shipping and the distance involved. And insurance fees? Forget about it, these can add up to 5 or more of the car's value, just for the privilege of insuring it during transport. But here's the thing, these costs can add up quickly, making the total cost of importing a JDM car much higher than expected. In fact, I've seen cases where the additional fees and taxes have increased the total cost by as much as 50. That's a huge hit, especially if you're on a tight budget. As you can see, importing a used JDM car is not just about finding a great deal on a car, it's also about navigating a complex web of fees and regulations. But don't worry, with the right information and planning, you can avoid some of these pitfalls and bring home your dream car without breaking the bank. Stay tuned to find out more about the hidden costs of importing JDM cars. Let's break down navigating the complex world of JDM car imports, tips and tricks for success as I've learned from my own experiences importing used JDM cars. Research and planning are crucial steps to take before making a purchase. In fact, most people don't realize that the key to a successful JDM car import is thorough research and planning. I recall receiving a call from a friend who was excited to import a rare JDM model, only to find out that the car wasn't even eligible for import due to its age and condition. Working with a reputable importer can make all the difference in the world. For example, I worked with a reputable importer who helped me navigate the complex import process and saved me thousands of dollars in the process. This importer not only provided me with guidance on the necessary paperwork and documentation but also helped me negotiate a better price with the seller. What I appreciate most about working with a reputable importer is that they're experts in the field and can anticipate potential issues before they arise. Now, if you're thinking of importing a JDM car, here are some next steps you can take to ensure a smooth process. First, research the import regulations and requirements for your state or country. Next, find a reputable importer who has experience working with JDM cars. Finally, don't be afraid to ask questions and seek guidance along the way. By taking these steps, you can avoid costly mistakes and ensure a successful JDM car import experience. In our next section, we'll be discussing common mistakes to avoid when importing a JDM car. But for now, I want to leave you with a summary of the key takeaways from this video. Remember, researching and planning are essential steps in the JDM car import process, and working with a reputable importer can make all the difference.